New numbers today raising a lot of new worries for the President of the United States. I'm talking about retail sales ending up all of 0.1% last month. That is the slowest pace of the year as Americans are clamping down on spending. High-end retailers Saks hit, posting weaker than expected sales. But this was pretty much down the income stream. Home Depot also getting hit, the stock dropping on a weak sales outlook. It does not end there because the weak economy is apparently cutting into folks' vacations. AAA is predicting that air travel for this Memorial Day weekend is going to drop more than 5% from a year ago, and it's all got market watcher Larry Glazer very concerned. Now, Larry, it goes without saying that consumers make up, as they say, 70% of this economy. If they're sputtering, that can't be good news for this economy.
No question, Neil. Retail sales are down, but this is much bigger than retail sales because this is yet another data point that suggests that the overall economy is slowing. And it supports the idea that the consumer is under pressure, something we already know. Neil, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone because we know that real income, real wages, that personal income data has not kept pace with the rising expenses that the consumers are experiencing. So consumers simply have less money to spend, and they're doing the logical thing. They're cutting back. That's something that everybody should do when you have less money to spend. Taxes and inflation are eating into what they have, and their expenses are rising. And that caution is warranted because unless we see stabilizing jobs, unless we see housing prices going up, consumers are going to feel under pressure, and the trend is going to continue.
Well, maybe consumers are wrong, right? I mean, when I look at builders and a confidence survey out that shows they're more confident they've been in years, albeit still at levels that are not exactly much to, pardon the expression, write home about, then what's right? Who's right?
Well, the housing data is stabilizing. I think we have to give credit. Certain parts of the country, you are seeing better data. It depends where you are. And no question, Neil, when you look at gas prices, they have come down, giving some relief to consumers. But when you factor in all of these issues, you're not getting enough relief to compensate the consumer for the fact that their expenses have gone up, for the fact they're working more hours to take home the same money. That's why their real wages are down. So again, the consumer is sort of running in place, and they're working harder and harder to do it. So that's why they're feeling under pressure here. And I think we can learn a lot from the consumer, and Washington can learn a lot from the consumer. When you have less money, you cut your expenses. You cut your spending. That's what consumers are going to do. We also learned, Neil, when we look at that first quarter, we saw a big economic bump, and people were getting giddy with hope and expecting that was going to continue. It's simply not sustainable. If people don't have more money in their wallet, they're not going to have more money to spend at the stores. And that's the trend we're seeing here. So for now, this is the trend that's in place, and we'll see how it plays out this summer.
Do you think we're going into another recession or just a flattening out here?
No question, the data suggests that the economy is slowing. What we don't know is how much it's slowing. We also know there's a lot of bad news that's increasingly getting priced into the economy. But it's healthy to have a dose of caution here. It's healthy for investors. Certainly we want to be optimistic. There are a lot of things that we can be optimistic for. But we're on a path here, Neil. Taxes are going up at the end of the year. That's something we do have to be worried about. And that trend is really challenging.
All right, Larry, thank you, I think. Larry Glazer.
My pleasure.